Hey everyone, I'm Imogen and I'm 29 years old. So a while back I went through a divorce from my abusive husband, Trevor. I was stuck in a really toxic marriage and sometimes you need a nudge from someone to break free from such situations. Surprisingly, that nudge came from none other than my mother-in-law, Kiki. Trevor and I had an unexpected start at the Cheesecake Factory. It was funny because we shared the same birthday and we both happened to be celebrating there. Trevor had this charming look with long, slicked back hair and an adorable face. My friends pushed me to go talk to him and get his number, so I did. That's how we started chatting. Trevor, well, he was a man of few words. Quite the mystery, you know. He had this way of keeping his emotions close to his chest, not opening up much. But strangely, there was this unspoken understanding between us, a sort of unspoken connection that felt comfortable. After a year of dating, we decided to tie the knot. We bought a house, we were both working, and things seemed pretty stable. About a year into our marriage, we felt it was the right time to start a family. When I found out I was pregnant, I was over the moon with joy. I shared the news with Trevor and he was ecstatic. We even had a gender reveal party. It was a baby boy. Trevor had always dreamt of having a son and he couldn't have been happier. He started preparing the baby's nursery, building the crib and talking about all the wonderful father-son moments he envisioned. But then our world shattered when I experienced a miscarriage. I called 911 while Trevor was away. When he reached the hospital, the doctors gave us the devastating news that we had lost our baby boy. It hit us both hard, especially Trevor. We supported each other through the tough times, and a year later we decided to try again. I became pregnant once more, and it was another baby boy. 5 months into the pregnancy, history repeated itself with another miscarriage. Trevor, who had built up so much hope, was heartbroken for the second time. I battled depression, unable to get out of bed, but Trevor didn't seem to notice. He was lost in his own grief, and it created a distance between us. He started sleeping in the guest room, and our communication had gone down the drains. I figured he needed space and time to heal, so I gave him that. However, a month after my second miscarriage, Trevor lost his job. I still remember the day he came home after that. I heard the sound of breaking glass and immediately rushed into Trevor's room, only to find a shattered plant pot. "What happened? Are you okay, Trevor?" "Okay, Imogen. I just got fired." "I'm so sorry, baby, but sometimes life is not fair, honey. You'll find another job. You've got a strong skill set." "Baby? You were calling me baby and offering support as if everything is just fine between us?" "Trevor, we're going through a rough patch, that's all. It will pass." "No, Imogen, it won't. Since the day I married you, it has been like everything in my life has gone wrong." "What do you mean?" "I don't know if you want to hear this, but it feels like this marriage is cursed. 2 miscarriages, losing my job of 4 years. It's like the universe doesn't want us to build a family or move forward. I'm just so tired." "Trevor, that is not true. We love each other, and we entered this marriage together. Every marriage has its ups and downs. Don't worry, I have my job, and I'll take care of everything until you find a new one. Just leave me alone, okay? Get out of my room." It was the most we had talked about in the last few months. Hearing Trevor call our marriage cursed felt like a stab in the heart. But I understood he was overwhelmed. Maybe it was my love for him that made me empathetic. Losing 2 babies and his job had hit him hard. It was like a never-ending string of bad luck. I decided to give him some space. The next day, I headed to work without asking Trevor about his plans for the day or if he was going to stay home. When I returned, Trevor was on the couch, an almost empty 6-pack of beer beside him. I tried to talk to him, asking how he was feeling, but all I got was silence. I pressed him to answer, and he said, "I'm okay. I'm going to go to sleep now." That's all I got from him. It had been almost a week since Trevor lost his job. Each day when I left for work, He was planted on the couch, glued to the TV, and when I returned, the scene remained unchanged except for the growing pile of empty alcohol bottles. I couldn't help but worry about him. One evening, unable to ignore my concern any longer, I finally talked to him. "Hi there, how you feeling? Did you manage to have lunch?" "Yeah, I ordered some Chinese takeout." "Good choice. Actually, I wanted to discuss something with you. I understand it's been tough and you're going through a lot. However, I'm concerned about the amount you're drinking, Trevor." "I'll decide what I have to do. Just because you're the one bringing in the money doesn't mean you can dictate everything in this house." "Honey, that's not what I meant. I've been thinking, given everything we've been through, perhaps we could consider therapy, either as a couple or individually. Whatever you're comfortable with. I've been struggling too."
Can you stop making yourself out to be the only victim here? I lost those babies too, you know. I need some air. I'm heading out.
I found myself trapped in a cycle of difficult conversations with Trevor. No matter how hard I tried to be empathetic and understanding, he continued to shut me out, invalidating my feelings. It was a struggle and I didn't know what to do. Trevor wasn't ready to accept the help I wanted to provide. Instead, he often said hurtful things, making me feel like it was my fault for our problems. It was all too much to bear and I felt lost. But then, one day, my phone rang, and it was my mother-in-law's name, Kiki. "Hi, Imogen." "Hey, Mom. It has been a while. How are you?" "Yes, dear, it has been long. I called you regarding my son, by the way." "Oh, yeah. He must have told you about the job." "Yes, he did. He also told me how you were stopping him from spending money on himself." "What?" "Well, Trevor tells me everything. Imogen, can you please stop creating a toxic environment for him at home? He has already been through a lot." "Toxic? You must be kidding me." "Well, Trevor told me how you don't talk to him. Asked him to sleep in another room, and you've been making your own rules since he lost the job. Bullying him for it and not talking to him. You are an adult, Imogen. Behave like one. You are his wife. Be supportive." "He told you all these lies, Kiki? Really? You have got it all so wrong. Trevor is at home drinking all day. He is the one who decided to move out of our bedroom, and I even offered to take him to therapy, but he just doesn't want to." "Imogen, don't call Trevor an alcoholic. He barely drinks." "I know. That's why I was so concerned about him. I don't know what happened to him." "Imogen, you are not taking care of my son. Do I have to lecture you on marriage now? I wish he would just leave you. Poor kid." "I can't believe you're saying this. Why don't you trust me? Trevor's never been like that. I wish I was there to take care of him. You know what? Why don't you come over for a week? Check up on your son yourself and see how he's doing." "Maybe that's not a bad idea. Trevor will be glad to see some positivity in the house." "Sure, whatever you say." I was furious with Trevor for lying to his mom about me when he was the one keeping his issues to himself. At this point, anger was my predominant emotion. Kiki came over to our place, and just as I anticipated, Trevor wasn't thrilled about it. On the morning of Kiki's arrival, Trevor left the house and spent the day with his friends. While he was away, Kiki took over the kitchen and started preparing his favorite meal for him. "I doubt you've been feeding my son well." "Well, I made him breakfast and dinner." "I don't get what's wrong with him. Why did he leave just as I came? My son, I'm just so sickened by the thought that he can't spend a minute in this house because of you." "Kiki, are we really doing this again?" "These are facts, Imogen. I don't know what you're doing wrong. Are you not giving him enough attention? Is this about the baby? I just think this whole marriage was a blunder." "You don't have the right to pass judgment on my marriage. You're here for a week as Trevor's mother. But this is our life."
Oh, honey, don't worry. I guess I'll have you out of the house by the end of this week. My son needs someone to open his eyes. Kiki was super sure her son was right. I decided not to argue anymore. I thought she'd figure it out eventually, so that night, Trevor did not come home for dinner and Kiki called him a bunch of times, but he finally picked up and yelled that he would be late. When Trevor got back home, Kiki tried to cheer him up by telling him she had cooked his beloved crab cakes. Trevor was not in the mood for food, though. Kiki, being the persistent type, pushed him a bit. He stormed into the kitchen and dumped the crab cakes she had made into the trash. Then he spotted a fresh batch of brownies on the counter and tossed them out as well. I knew Trevor wasn't in the best frame of mind, but I couldn't help but speak. If you didn't want to eat, you could have been polite. I don't care about stupid crab cakes and brownies, okay? She was preparing those for you all evening from scratch. Also, food in the trash? Are you serious? If you care so much about the brownies, why don't you pick them up from the trash and eat them? The next day, I left for work, wanting to steer clear of their mother-son drama. When I got back, it was clear there had been some tension between them, but I didn't bother asking. When I was home and not at work, Trevor acted like a rebellious teenager, disrespecting both me and his mom. He would say hurtful things about Kiki's character and his dad leaving, and I felt bad for Kiki, even though she thought I was the problem. One morning when I woke up, Trevor and Kiki were fighting. I went into the living room. Trevor, why don't you come with me to the yoga session I have booked for us? It would be good for both of us. Yoga? Seriously, Mom? You think I have time for that crap? It's just an hour, Trevor. It can help relieve some stress. It can also help you with your anger, son. Anger? You want to talk about anger, Mom? Let's talk about how you ruined my childhood with your loose character. The reason my dad left you was I was angry about it. But did you do something about it too? Trevor, please don't bring up your father. This is about us. When are you leaving again? Trevor, who are you? Why are you being so rude to me? Well, this is me now. I have to go help my friend fix something. I'll see you later. Trevor left and slammed the door in our faces. Look what you have done to my son. This is what happens when you keep someone in a cage. Can't you see what's really going on? I've had enough of both of you. First, Trevor won't talk to me for some inexplicable reason, and now you're laying all the blame on me, assuming you've got everything figured out. I'm off to work. When I got back from work, things were a total mess. Kiki had her bags packed, and both Trevor and Kiki were there. I was seriously confused about what was going on. Wait, Kiki, I thought you were planning to leave at the end of the week. What's happening? I don't know. I went for a walk, and when I came back, I found all this. Mom, you were leaving. I got you a flight ticket back home, and I paid for it with my card. I also took some cash from your purse. It's your ticket, not mine. But why, son? I'm your mother. Why are you pushing me away? You're trying to control my life, Mom, telling me not to drink, to get my act together. I am a grown-up now. What's wrong with you? I only want what's best for you. Just like when you dated Steve after Dad left and he used to beat me up and you ignored all of it. Trevor, enough! Why can't you let it go? Is that girl putting all these things in your head? To be rebellious? I saw her outside with you the other day. What girl? Shut up, Mom. Why do you have to open that stupid mouth of yours all the time? Trevor grabbed an empty beer bottle within reach and tried to aim it at Kiki. She managed to dodge it, but she hurt her hand and her finger was bleeding a bit. I couldn't stay silent any longer, seeing another woman in distress like that. Trevor, that's enough. She's your mom. Get out and don't come back until I tell you to. Stay wherever you want to, but don't come here. I was really baffled by what had just gone down. It was all still sinking in. And there was Kiki shedding tears. I grabbed a glass of water for her and wiped her wound clean. Then I got her seated.
My mind was buzzing with questions that needed answers. Trevor never mentioned anything about his mom's boyfriend, Steve, or her past relationships. It was like he kept a lot hidden from me. I knew Kiki had been through a divorce, but she never talked about any of her boyfriends. And this mystery girl she mentioned. I had this gut feeling that the answers I was about to get wouldn't be easy to swallow. Please forgive me, Imogen. I'm sorry I treated you this way, especially knowing what's been going on. Well, Kiki, I need the truth now. What's happening? To begin with, Trevor has been cheating on you. What? With who? How long has this been going on? I don't know all the details, but the other day, when he wasn't home and you were at work, that girl dropped by. I had a conversation with her. She didn't even seem to know Trevor was a married man. Wow. Now it makes sense where he was all those nights. I trusted him and he did this to me. Trevor's dad cheated on me too. I blame myself for the way Trevor is now. I had some abusive boyfriends and I neglected Trevor when he needed me. What's done is done. You did neglect Trevor. But that's no excuse for what he's doing now. You've seen the way he behaves lately, and what he did today was way out of line. I'm not making excuses for Trevor. I can't even recognize him anymore. He needs help. He's becoming the person he once feared. He has become a monster. From one woman to another, Imogen, I'm begging you to leave him. He's abused you and cheated on you, and now he's out there ruining his own life. You have a future ahead of you. I'm so sorry for my son. You should talk with him. You can stay here for another 2 days until you have your actual flight. I guess Trevor has a place he can comfortably stay. So Kiki stayed with me for another day, and we didn't hear from Trevor. No calls, no texts, no apologies. To be honest, I knew the end of this relationship was coming somehow. The way Trevor had been acting and everything, I should have seen the signs. I was beating myself up and blaming myself for Trevor's behavior. I thought the reason for my not being able to give him children led to all this. When Kiki left, I thought about things for a couple of days before reaching out to Trevor. I knew my life would significantly change. I was my own sense of strength. I talked to my parents and I was close with them, but this would have absolutely broken their hearts. I did plan on telling them later, but at that time I decided to confront Trevor first. I called him and asked him to come over, and he did. Kiki told me everything, Trevor. You've been cheating on me despite all we've been through. Instead of being there for each other, you pushed me away and mistreated me. Imogen, I'm not scared of you. Your attitude, that's exactly what I mean. And with the incident with your mom, you need some help, Trevor. Whatever. You've changed so much. You used to be quiet, but this anger, where's it coming from? I wanted to start a family and you couldn't give me that. I lost my job. It's like you're bringing bad luck, and then you blame me for being angry? Honestly, I don't want to be with you anymore, Trevor. You're not the person I fell for. So, you're leaving me? That's right. Who's going to handle groceries and other essentials? I don't have a job. I can't even pay for gas. I can't take care of stuff right now. You're such a man-child. Seriously? You expect me to do all that while you're out there cheating on me and treating me like dirt? Come on, Imogen, I'll end it with her if that's what you want. Seriously? Do you think I'm that naive? Am I your money machine or what? It's over, Trevor. After parting ways with Trevor, I found myself on a new and unexpected path. Divorces are never easy. Kiki gave me a call after the divorce. She informed me that Trevor had been crashing at her place and that his girlfriend had broken up with him. Life has this funny way of turning the tables sometimes. I remembered how Kiki had once vowed to open her son's eyes, but it turned out that her own eyes were the ones that truly opened. I decided to set up my own place, and let me tell you, it feels like a fresh start. The Trevor chapter had its share of complications, and it left its mark. So I decided to seek help and started therapy to work through the issues and become a better version of myself. In one of my therapy sessions with Alicia, she brought up something. She casually suggested the idea of me becoming a single parent through adoption. Her words stayed with me even after our session was over. Just last week, I did something pretty brave. I went to an adoption center, filled out some forms, and started training to become an adoptive parent. I'm really excited about this new chapter in my life. It's giving me hope and making me look forward to what's coming. Life hasn't always been easy, but it's made me stronger and more determined. Going down the adoption path feels like a chance to do something really good for a kid and experience the joys of being a parent, all in my own way.